Hi guys.
Over
What's
here.
up, buddy?
How's it going?
What's
Good.
going on, buddy? How are you?
Just how excited were you? You're the co-main event of this card. And was that something you were expecting? Obviously, pretty high-profile fight here with Kevin Holland. But how happy are you to get that slot in this event?
Yeah, this is really cool, man. I'm really grateful for it. I mean, there are a lot of great fights on this card, right? You could have easily made Jasmine co-main. You could have easily made Eamon co-main, right? Like, there's a lot of fights that are really meaningful to divisions, right? But yeah, that was really cool to find out I was co-main.
Were you expecting to fight someone like Kevin Holland next? Like, that's a pretty big name that you get to fight on this event.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was going to get next, whether it was like another unranked guy who was close to the rankings, if I'd kind of have to fight one more of those before I get a ranked opponent, or someone, 12 to 15. But yeah, I was happy to get the opportunity to fight for a ranked position.
Even though you're the co-main event, does this feel a bit different than the last Vancouver card? There was a lot of sort of expectations because you hadn't lost in the UFC. Like, how does the vibe feel sort of going into this event compared to last time?
Well, last time was really unexpected, right? Like, I came out here to Vancouver being like, oh man, I bet some of the fans will know who I am. That'll be cool. And then we went to the press conference and like people were chanting my name and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I severely underestimated how many people are going to know who I am. Like, this is completely unexpected. Obviously, this isn't a pay-per-view, but yeah, no, this is, I feel like another excellent opportunity, right? And just I feel so much more prepared for this second run at the rankings, right? Like, I'm way ahead of where I was a few years ago. I feel like my skill is considerably increased since then, and I've just kind of matured as a fighter, and I feel a lot more comfortable being here. It's not as much like, whoa, this is, it's not like, whoa, this is the UFC. It's like, I'm still grateful for this every time I get to come out here. And I'm like, damn, man, I'm co-main on a UFC card. Like, I got into this because I'm a fan of the sport, and I grew up like idolizing these guys. So getting to be co-main's awesome. But I feel a lot more prepared and almost kind of deserving of the opportunity now.
I don't know if you've seen Kevin this week, but he's kind of known for his trash talk, and I may be wrong about this, but I don't think you've really had an opponent like that in the UFC. Is that something you're kind of anticipating, like even at the weigh-ins, like him, maybe getting in your face a little bit, because that's, he's a bit of a personality.
Right, I haven't seen him this week yet. The last guy I fought, Charles Radke, talked a lot of trash beforehand, but not so much when we got in there. I don't know if if my opponent's been talking any trash so far. I assume when we're in there, he'll be talking a lot of trash, and kind of we prepared for that with my training partners, just talking trash all training camp when we're drilling, when we're sparring, having my mental coach cage side yelling at me during sparring and fight simulations and stuff. So I feel, very well prepared and comfortable to deal with that.
Yeah, and just last one for me. Obviously, your brother Jeff making a name for himself, right? That obviously that clip was kind of everywhere. You're a guy that's got a lot of attention for what you've done in your UFC career. Was it kind of neat to see him get a lot of recognition for that? That I saw everyone posting that clip.
Man, every time I watch one of their games, the LA Kings games, I feel like he's getting so much coverage, right? Like, I feel like the commentators are talking about him during the game. I feel like beforehand, I've watched multiple games where they're like doing segments on him, like, yeah, this kid's right on the bubble, but he definitely deserves to be here, and he's playing so much better this year. I feel like it's almost like a little bit of my Vancouver experiences are like last year and this year for him, where he got to the show at the end of the year and was playing well, but it might have felt like, whoa, this is the NHL a little bit. Whereas now he's like had all summer to train and work out and wrap his mind around it, and he seems like a lot more comfortable in there. Like, even talking to him, he seems a lot more relaxed about it, and the results are speaking for themselves. He's putting up points. He's getting in fights. He's being a big body out there, and he's using his time wisely.
Mike, I know you need to protect yourself in the octagon, but are you going to be having your head on a swivel for the walkout here? Yeah,
man. This is whoever is responsible for this barricade, dude. Once is a mistake. Twice is this. You're out to get me. We're not doing this again, man. Bolt those things down.
Mike, right here. You mentioned prepping for Kevin Holland's talk with your training partners. Did any of them get you to crack?
The times that got me to crack were when other people didn't know that we were doing that, and they started laughing. They're like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you calling him that? And like, they were like, oh no, we're doing this for my opponent's going to talk trash, and they're like, oh yeah, definitely good call. He's definitely going to do that. So those are the times that it was funny, but otherwise, no, like just staying focused, right?
Good stuff. And, you know, we talked to Jazz about this a little. There seems to be a lot of positive feedback about the Canadian fights on this card. There's some bangers and some meaningful fights as well. She's working her way to that title shot. Eamon's working his way to that title shot. You're working your way back to the rankings. Have you kind of seen this as another big step for Canadian MMA right now?
Yeah, this looks like another great wave, right? Last time we were out here in Vancouver, we went 6-0. We had excellent performances, but now we get to even have even more meaningful fights on the card, right? Like they were all great performances, but now there's 3 ranked fights and 3 fights that, you know, have some pretty solid. They'll have an influence on the outcome of the divisions, right? So, yeah, it's really cool, man. It's awesome to see us all doing so well.
And then this one that's completely unrelated to this card, but you used to fight at featherweight, and I'm just curious, like how much weight were you cutting for that? Because that seems crazy right now.
Yeah, too much weight. I was also like a lot younger, and I've kind of always been like a late bloomer. Like I didn't hit 100 pounds till grade 10. Like I was a little kid. It kind of took me a while to like fully fill out and grow. So even when I first started fighting at 145, I was like 2 inches shorter, and I was a lot skinnier. So 145 actually made sense at the time, but the last 2 fights at 145 did not make sense. I just kind of kept growing and started wrestling, and body fills out a little bit. Yeah, it's nice not doing those cuts anymore, man. I mean, it's never fun cutting any weight, but those were nightmares.
And then just last one for me. You have Jasmine, who you've shared a lot of cards with now. So what's it just like having someone to kind of go into the trenches with like that?
Oh, it's awesome, man. We've been on several cards together. Even before we came back to Canada for fights, we shared a card in Las Vegas. It's awesome, man. Our saying is 2 weddings, right? Like it's, you know, after a fight, depending on the result, people either treat you like you're at a wedding or you're at a funeral, right? It's like you get that energy in one of 2 directions. So we always say 2 weddings, but for us this time it's even more, right? We've got Kyle Nelson's a teammate of mine. He trains with Cruella and Helmegen at House of Champions, and he comes out to Niagara Top Team to wrestle and spar a little bit. And he's been a friend of mine for over a decade. And Kyle Preplek's a fairly new friend of mine, but I like the guy. I'd never met him in person before, but I sent him a message, and I was like, hey, man, I'm looking to get ready for this fight in Vancouver. Last time, like, I need a solid southpaw. Will you come out and help me out? And he drove a few hours, came out. We beat the crap out of each other, and then he got in his car and left and just became friends. So, got a good group of guys to head into this fight with. He also comes out to Niagara Top Team now too and does some sparring with us. So it's a lot of good energy in the room. And then you show up fight week, and Eamon and the Jourdain brothers are here, and it's awesome, man.
Mike, welcome back to Vancouver. We're seeing how you're in a hockey town. I have to take it back to the hockey realm. There was your brother with his fight that went viral, but also him scoring his first NHL goal. You're smiling about it. Share with the emotion for you, your family, to see him finally score that goal after him toiling in the minors for a bit.
No, it's amazing, man. Like he scored a goal last year, but it got pulled back, right? And it was unfortunate because not only was it his first NHL goal, it was one of the coolest goals you're ever going to see scored, right? Like guy is deking somebody out, gets tripped, dives. It's like that Bobby Orr iconic, like he's in the air and still scores type goal. Like that's a once in a lifetime type goal. And unfortunately, his teammate was offside, so they, took it back. But this one, just a nice, deflection off the butt and in the net. But man, they don't ask how, they ask how many. And so stoked for the kid to get his first goal, and he got his first assist already this season. And he's got a couple fights deep. It's like he came out hot. He's like, all right, man, I'm earning this spot on this team. I'm making my presence known, and I'm so proud of him, man. We've been texting and talking a lot throughout our camps, and just because he did his preseason camp, and then I'm in camp too at the same time. And it's funny, dude, throughout our adult lives, it just feels like things keep happening in pairs together, right? Like I fought on Contender Series the weekend that he made his first preseason NHL debut. And, crazy as it is, he is number 39 in hockey, and I finished my fight in 39 seconds. And it's like, dude, if you wrote that in a movie, you'd be like, this movie's corny. That stuff doesn't happen in real life. It's like, it's almost too good to be true. So to just feed off one another's energy right now is really special.
Did you guys have much of a sibling rivalry? Did you beat the snot out of each other as kids in the basement playing sock hockey or street hockey?
We played a little played buckets a couple of times in the basement. You know, throw the hockey gloves and the hockey helmet on and throw your mouth guards in and kind of get after it. You know, I'm a decent amount older than him, but as I mentioned, I was always like the runt of my year, and he was always like the big kid of his year. So I'm 5 years older than him, but the size difference wasn't that apparent. But even still, like, you know, I wasn't picking on him too bad, but we got after it a couple of times. But it wasn't like a sibling rivalry, just, you know, age gap and stuff like that. But we are like really competitive. All my siblings and I are competitive, not necessarily directed towards one another, but we're like, we all, none of us like to not have a good performance, right? So we're all digging deep. So yeah, feeding off each other's energy for sure.
Okay, because you're big on the numbers, I was talking to Jasmine just about the average age for a women's UFC champion is 36. For men's, it's 33. I think we know somebody up there who's 33 years old as well. Why do you think it takes a UFC fighter or an MMA fighter a little bit longer to hit their peak, to become a champion, maybe as opposed to other sports where guys or women can hit their peak a little bit earlier, whereas we're looking mid-30s to late 30s in your profession? What do you think it is?
I think it's just because there's so much skill development required, right? Like you look at other sports, not that you don't require skill, but this sport is basically like 5 sports mashed together, right? You get boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and then the like strength and conditioning aspect, and you have to be good at all of them. There's nobody, especially in, you know, the mid-tier weight classes where it's, you know, maybe you get some extremes where somebody's so good at one thing that they can kind of get away with not being as skilled in other facets, but it's very rare. You have to be good everywhere now. This isn't, you know, fighting in 2005 where you could be like a solid boxer and a blue belt in jiu-jitsu and that was good enough, right? Like this is everybody's got to be basically a black belt everywhere. So I think that amount of time of having to acquire those skills is one aspect of it. I think the other aspect of it is the age limitation in that you're not having like MMA fights at 14, right? So you play hockey, like, yeah, you can get to the, you know, you can be a star in the NHL at like 20 because you've been playing the same game at a slower pace and against less skilled guys, but the same game since you were 4 years old. It's like you don't ever actually really do that, this fight game, until you're at least 18, right? So I think that probably puts a little bit of a limitation on it as well.
Just one more, Mike. I know you said Kevin hasn't really been talking any trash. He did say yesterday when talking about you, he's 2 steps behind the level of competition I usually lose to. So what do you make of that? Is that him underestimating you in your mind?
Well, I don't know. The other thing that I heard was that he didn't even know he was fighting me, so I'm wondering how he knows what my skill level's like, if that's the case. But yeah, doesn't matter to me what he says. You know, the reason I'm so confident going into this fight is the preparation that I've put in and the skills that I bring to the octagon and everything that I put in the last few months. And man, this camp went so well. I feel so ready. I'm like the best I've ever been by a long shot. So no matter what anybody says, it's like that doesn't change the preparation that I put in, right?
Mike, just one, brother. I know, like, the Walkout song, Sum 41, it's been, like, a staple. I'm just curious. I know I think they retired from touring last year or something like that, but have they ever reached out to you? Have they ever given you a shout-out and, like, I don't know, maybe that's something we can put out in the universe and maybe you guys can link up one of these days?
Yeah, nothing yet, but that'd be awesome, man. Grew up listening to Sum 41 and still a fan, and obviously they're meaningful to me as my vibe heading out into a fight, so I'd love to have them reach out. That'd be sweet.